Okay, we have to talk about the bizarre case of the sitting Republican Congresswoman who has been just missing for months. She's been absent for vote after vote after vote, and this story exposes a deep double standard between the parties and our media. But before we jump into all of that, Trump finally acknowledged the elephant in the room. The elephant being Elon Musk and his shadow presidency, because Elon may never actually be able to run for president, but he's absolutely running something behind the scenes, and I'm pretty sure it pisses Trump off that another human being now has this much sway within the Republican Party, because Trump is still easily the leader of the Republican Party. He's still easily the top dude, but that's slowly waning. I mean, Musk has been outmaneuvering him at key moments lately. We can even point to that bill that almost got nuked last week. Elon Musk was the first one to send out that tweet, and then Republican lawmakers followed Elon, seemingly. It seems like he sent out his tweet to intentionally beat Trump or to preempt Trump, not only to undercut Trump's influence, but to show that he can sway Republican congressmen and congresswomen too, and that Trump isn't the only leader within the party. And this all, I mean, just look at this photo right here. There are so many photos of Donald Trump and JD Vance standing there shoulder to shoulder, and Elon Musk is so close he can probably smell both of their hair. It looks like his body is just rubbed up against Trump's right here. They're always packed together, but it's normal to see the vice president and the president together, but it's not normal to see the two and then the shadow president behind the scenes. So after all of this talk, Donald Trump gets on stage and has to clarify, Elon Musk is not the president, and he's not going to be the president. He says, quote, Elon Musk is not going to be the president. That I can tell you. I'm safe. You know why? He can't be. He wasn't born in this country. You know, nothing instills confidence in the leader of a party more than them having to constantly reassure you, I am the leader. I promise he can't be the leader. I am the leader. But Trump is missing the key point right here. We're not saying that Elon Musk is actually the president, like he's actually going to run and try to get all of the electoral votes. That's not even the point that we're making. We're just saying that Donald Trump has ceded so much ground and influence to Elon Musk, it seems like he's the one calling the shots. He is currently the kingmaker within the Republican Party, threatening to primary certain candidates, and that is a sign that Elon Musk is gaining a lot of power and also using that to sometimes undercut Trump. But let me play you this quick clip of Trump talking about Elon, and I want you to pay close attention to the awkward laugh he lets off at the end. He lets off a laugh, but you can tell it's not the type of laugh where he actually thinks it's funny. Watch.
And he got over 2,000 units. That's a lot. And they flooded it with Starlink, and it was so good. It saved a lot of lives, so we want to thank him. But no, he's not going to be president, that I can tell you.
That's reassuring.
And I'm safe. You know why?
Why?
He can't be. He wasn't born in this country.
He doesn't think it's funny. That was not that type of laugh.
Born in this country.
No, he's annoyed. He's annoyed that people are constantly saying this, and he looks to the crowd for approval. But again, he's missing the point. We're not saying that Elon Musk is actually going to run and be on the ballot. That would have to be a nightmare reality. We're just saying that he's calling the shots behind the scenes. I mean, Musk is the one leveraging his wealth and influence to reshape policy, silence critics, play kingmaker in Republican politics without even trying to hide it whatsoever. And Trump's kind of terrified because Elon doesn't even need the White House to consolidate power. He's already got the reach via X. He's the richest man in the world, and he's got the audacity, the sheer audacity to just pull the strings without even hiding it or without even stepping foot in Washington. And honestly, Trump's fear is slightly justified. I mean, I don't feel bad. I'm just saying Musk's meddling is already shaking up the GOP, so I can understand why Trump sees this threat to his power. We can all understand it. That's why we're calling him President Musk. Now, we'll talk about that more later, but I do want to break down the 81-year-old Congresswoman who has been missing for multiple months. Let's just start here. A report of missing Representative Kay Granger, a Texas Republican, being found in a senior care facility on Friday has sparked backlash across social media about the age of Congress members. Okay, so here's where it gets wild. According to Granger's roll call vote page, the 81-year-old Congresswoman's last vote was on July 24th when she voted no to the amendment in the House 1157 to HR 8998, whatever, but she hasn't voted since July, which is absolutely absurd. And I just want to say, when it's a Republican, the story doesn't seem to make nearly as many waves. Now, just imagine for a second if a Democrat did this, if a prominent Democrat representative was actually living in a retirement home missing almost every single vote while collecting taxpayer-funded paychecks, right-wing media would be in a frenzy. Tucker Carlson would be saying that there's a shadow government pulling the strings. They'd say that actually every other Democratic representative is also having the strings pulled. He would say that this proves the deep state is pulling the strings of everything, but then when it's a Republican, not only are there not that many conspiracies, but it's just not that huge of a story. I mean, yes, people are definitely talking about it. I'm not going to imply that it's being covered up, but it was. It was being covered up for months and months and months, and nobody noticed. Also, people aren't placing the blame on the staffers like they should. The staffers who helped keep this ruse going are just as much to blame as she is. I mean, I don't even know what her mental capacities are. Maybe the onus falls all on the staffers, and you can tell why they do this. When you're a staffer like that, and the person you work for loses, you lose your job. So you were incentivized to entrench your power by any means possible. It just reminds me of how there were 700 to 800 articles written over the first half of the year about Biden's age by just one or two newspapers. Like, I'm pretty sure someone looked up how many articles about Biden's age the New York Times wrote, and it was a bizarre amount over the course of 3 months. Yet here, the coverage just isn't as powerful. I get that she's not the president, but people should be talking about this. Since then, since July 24th, Granger has not cast any votes in Washington, and her prolonged absence sparked concern among constituents in Texas's 12th congressional district. After multiple attempts were made by the Dallas Express to locate Granger, a reporter at the newspaper received a tip that she had been staying at a memory care facility after being found lost and confused while wandering through her neighborhood. It is absolutely tragic, but how come like half of our Congress members are like this? According to the newspaper, Dallas Express reporters who visited the facility to confirm Granger's residency and inquire about how she planned to vote on the recent spending bill were not permitted to speak with the Congresswoman. Employers confirmed that Granger was living in the facility with Assistant Executive Director of the facility, acknowledging that this is now her home. And they've been hiding this. It's been covered up. And I want to take a nuanced position really quickly because I see a lot of people, sometimes people my age, saying that we need to get rid of older congressmen or congresswomen. I actually disagree. I actually think that being an older, more experienced congressman or congresswoman could very well play to your strengths. Part of the reason President Biden was so effective was because of his experience in Washington and his ability to maneuver around our institutions in ways that someone like Donald Trump couldn't due to his lack of experience. So I think that we should judge people based on their merit, their skill, their experience. Their age should come last. None of this is me saying that old people need to get out of Congress. That's not what I'm saying at all. But we all can clearly agree that this should not be happening at the rate it is. When you have this person, when you have Mitch McConnell, we can even look at Feinstein, who objectively stayed for a little bit too long. I don't even think she could vote near the end of her life. People had to vote for her. We clearly have a problem. But then again, many of the older people in Congress are much more experienced than their younger counterparts. So I think there needs to be a balance. Everything needs to be a balance. Quote, as many of my family, friends, and colleagues have known, I have been navigating some unforeseen health challenges over the past year, said Granger. I don't know, she obviously didn't write that, but I'm not going to state the obvious. Obviously, yeah, okay. This comes after Granger was publicly seen in late November at the unveiling of her portrait at the House Appropriations Committee. Granger, who was elected in 1997, is the first Republican woman elected to the U.S. House of Representatives from Texas and became the first woman from her party to chair the Appropriations Committee. She was the chair of the Appropriations Committee while living in a memory care facility or a dementia home, whatever you want to call it. Now, in response to Granger being found at the memory care facility, many people were mad. Meghan McCain, of all people, actually made a decent point. She said, don't tell me political media isn't a broken hellscape when a well-known congresswoman can just go missing for 6 months and then show up in a dementia care facility. Like a congresswoman not showing up for 6 months wasn't noticed or worth writing about? I mean, I hate to say it, but Meghan McCain is right here. MSNBC News columnist Eric Michael Garcia said, Kay Granger, David Scott, Thad Cochran, and Dianne Feinstein reveal a big problem that Congress rewards seniority to build power, that incentivizes people to stay long past their expiration date. That is exactly what I was saying. The incentive that Congress creates is to entrench your power. It's to stay for as long as you can to build more power. And I think part of this was shown the other day when we voted on, or when Congress voted on AOC versus Connolly as the person investigating Donald Trump. I think that Connolly has a lot of pros. I think that he's very experienced. I think he's a great dude, but he's an older dude. He's 74. He has throat cancer. There is an argument to be made that we should pass the torch to AOC, who's good at being on camera, good at the media. Colin Rugg said, Senator Mitch McConnell, Representative Nancy Pelosi, and now Representative Kay Granger are taking falls and losing their cognitive abilities as they refuse to leave office. McConnell busted his face open. Pelosi broke her hip. And of course, nothing against Pelosi. We're just pointing to the broader trend here of some of the most powerful people in our country not being in their prime, let's say. Granger was found in a senior care facility after people started noticing that she was missing, according to the Dallas Express. We deserve better. I totally agree. And I just want to end this video off by saying one more time, I think our older representatives are not only crucial, but oftentimes smarter, more experienced, and better at maneuvering our institutions than the younger congressmen and women. I'm just trying to point to the broader trend. I don't want people to be like, Adam, why are you so ageist or whatever? That's not at all what I'm saying here, but you guys know that. Love you guys. Peace out. See you in the next one. Bye.